What's up, desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding. In this video, I'm discussing how Derek Lunsford has spoken and has answered the question whether he's doing the 212 or the Open at the 2022 Mr Olympia. Will he defend his 212 Olympia title, or will he jump into the Open after that crazy, impressive guest posing against the likes of Brandon Curry, Hunter Labrada, and Nick Walker at the 2022 Pittsburgh Pro this past weekend? Also, I do an evolution of Derek Lunsford's physique from 2015 to 2022, and the gains are crazy impressive. Plus, I compare how he actually matched up against all those guys at that Pittsburgh guest posing. And by the end of this video, you'll find out if Derek Lunsford is doing the 212 or the Open at that 2022 Mr Olympia. Hope you guys enjoy the video. What's up, desktopers? Now, before we get into this one, I want to encourage you guys, if you do like and appreciate this content and you want more of this stuff coming at you, please give this video a thumbs up, smash that like button. Also, subscribe and hit the notification bell button if you haven't yet. That way you'll be notified of every video that goes up from myself, Xavier Wills, at Desktop Bodybuilding, including my coverage of the 2022 Indy Pro coming up this weekend. It's going to be a great show, tons of good names: Justin Rodriguez, Blessing Awadabu, Charles Griffin, just to name a few, and Ron Gordon, who I actually just interviewed, and that will be the next video that's up on Desktop Bodybuilding. So make sure you stay tuned for that and do subscribe. So let's get into this one. So Derek Lunsford, obviously I mentioned at the start of this video in the intro, looking crazy impressive at this weekend just gone's Pittsburgh Pro guest posing against the likes of Brandon Curry, against the likes of Nick Walker, against the likes of Hunter Labrada. Very, very impressive. And obviously the man who wasn't there, but we really wanted to see, that was Big Ramy, who promised he would be there on his Instagram recently. He promised he'd post a lot more and all that sort of stuff, but that's for another video. But Derek Lunsford, I would have loved to have seen him up against Big Ramy just to see how they match up in an off-season scenario, because I haven't seen many guys guest posing in their off season and this far away from the Olympia, because the Pittsburgh Pro is typically around the start of these guys' prep, or maybe 14 weeks out or something like that of Mr Olympia. Now this is a lot further out from the Olympia than that, and Derek Lunsford is absolutely huge. And many people ask the question, why would he be so big if he's going to come back down into the 212s? Because last year he only just made the 212, I think by a couple of pounds or something like that, or not even that. And why would you add so much muscle when you've got to diet it all away? Now, it might bring a more impressive look because the muscle might be a little bit more crisp, it might be a little bit more mature and all that sort of stuff when you've got more tissue on there. But you'll have to definitely diet it, some of it away, because this is not a 212 bodybuilder. This looks like a 260 to 265 pound bodybuilder, even with, being a bit shorter and all that sort of stuff. So Derek Lunsford, crazy impressive, and I wanted to show you guys a bit of an evolution from 2015 to 2022 that I made up. And you can see as we go through these, the amount of tissue that he's added to his legs, especially since then in the past 7 years, is absolutely insane. And even in the past, 1 to 2 years, the tissue he's added to his legs is crazy. But just the mass on his back as well. Like Derek, when he, does the twisting back shots and all that sort of stuff, well, not twisting, the one arm bicep with the back showing and all that sort of stuff, it almost looks fake when he posts it up on Instagram, but to see it in the guest posing, you're like, oh, okay, well, it's not edited or anything like that. That's legit how Derek Lunsford actually looks. He looks absolutely insane. And just the amount of meat that he's added onto his physique it's astounding. Like, not many guys add that amount of muscle, full stop, obviously, in their career. But like that over, 7 short years, it's pretty damn crazy. But let's compare how he looked against Brandon Curry, Nick Walker, and Hunter Labrada. Now, I would say that Derek Lunsford was the most impressive out of a lot. The reason being is I think he was in the best condition along with Hunter Labrada, but he had the sort of, I wouldn't say the most mass. I'd say Nick Walker had the most mass, but the most pretty mass, I'd say. So I think that Derek Lunsford, maybe he can't get quite as crisp as some of these other guys. I don't know, because he's been dieting down to 212, and when you diet a bit of muscle away, you think, well, you're going to be dieting down to a certain weight cap, so you're going to be super crisp. And he was pretty damn crisp at last year's Olympia. But through the front, he still lacked that bit of real crisp, gnarly hardness through the chest and whatnot, and that separation. And I think that when he comes in bursting full, if he can bring, not necessarily this level of fullness, but a much fuller physique in the open class, he is going to be trouble, because he's going to actually appear harder, because he's going to have that fullness. He's working with Honey Rambod, and he always brings guys in phenomenal condition, so I have no question about that. We've seen what he's done with Hardy, with Jay Cutler, with Phil Heath. There's, the list sort of goes on with Hardy Rambo. He's got a very good track record. And yeah, I've got to say that Derek is crazy. Now, how does he compare to Brandon Curry? Now, I don't think that's a fair comparison because Brandon Curry, he did the Arnold Classic. I don't know how many weeks ago it was now, maybe 5 weeks ago or whatever, and he said that he's taking his health into consideration and all that sort of stuff in a recent post he put up on Instagram. So I assume that Brandon's actually sort of cleaning out a little bit at the moment before getting into his proper off season and then his Olympia prep, which I think is the smartest thing. He's 39 years of age and he's got a beautiful family and he's won a Mr. Olympia already. He thinks it's best for his title defense to actually take that bit of time off and let his body rest and recover, and then have that other push to try to win his second Mr. Olympia title and become the only man to actually win the Arnold and the Olympia in the same year for 2 different years. That would be absolutely awesome. That would build a legacy for Brandon Curry. So I would absolutely love to see that. But obviously by the looks of some of these guest posers and big Ramis out there, it's not going to be an easy task, no doubt. But Hunter Labrada looked really good at this guest posing as well. And had Nick Walker and Derek Lunsford not been there, I would be raving about how good Hunter Labrada looked. So that's how good I think that Nick Walker and especially Derek Lunsford actually looked at this guest posing. So I think out of all these guys, Derek Lunsford looked the best. That's what I'm saying. And Nick Walker was probably a close second as well. Now, there's been some other crazy physique updates posted by Derek Lunsford as well. And you can see this back one. It is mind-blowing. Like the waist to shoulder to lat ratio, it's absolutely mind-blowing. And had I seen this and only this video, I'd be freaking out regardless. But the fact it's backed up with the guest posing as well, and it's not just a gym physique update that's sort of deceiving or anything like that. The fact that we get to see a guest posing as well to confirm how crazy he's looking and that he has that 3D dimensional muscle, I think that reaffirms that this is a legit physique update, obviously, in the gym. We know it's legit. It's a video. We can see it. But, sometimes you can use angles and all that sort of stuff, and it can look maybe a little bit more deceiving. No, that's how Derek Lunsford looks. He is absolutely crazy. I think that if he did the Open Mr. Olympia this year, I think that he could potentially win it. That's how good I think Derek Lunsford is right now. I think he'll win an Open Mr. Olympia in his future. Let me know what you think in the comments below about that. But here's what Derek Lunsford said on if he's going to do the 212 or the Open in 2022.
Guys, I've been getting asked over and over about whether I'm going to be 212 or Open, and I'm good with answering it. I know everybody wants to know, and so what I'll tell you is, of course I want to go Open at some point. Like, I have always dreamed and believed I would be an Open competitor. And the thing is we have the 212 Olympia title. That would be very, very hard to, give up to go to the Open. I'm blessed to have, earned the title last year. So our focus, when I say our focus, I mean Hani and I, our plan since the last year's Olympia has been to defend the 212 title. But we also know that I need to make improvements. I can't just be the same bodybuilder every year. I have to make improvements. So our goal has been to make solid improvements, try to keep the weight as low as possible. And even though it's gotten up there, once we start dieting down, we'll come back to Vegas in December and put on a showing, man.
So there it is, directly from Derek Lunsford himself. And I think it's a very interesting decision. Do I think it's the right decision? I mean, as a bodybuilding fan, I want to see him in the Open because it's more exciting because, what can he actually be? That's the sort of question. And we've said that with Flex Lewis for many years now. We see all the photos of him 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out, looking inside out, and he's still like 15 pounds above the actual 212 weight limit. And we're seeing, I think, much the same with Derek Lunsford as well. And the 212, at least in this regard, that's one reason why I don't like the 212. Outside of that, I absolutely love the class. I think it's awesome. But the fact that it's holding a couple of guys back, I'd love to see him actually go up into the Open. But I do get it as well. If you win a Mr. Olympia title, regardless if it's 212 or Open or whatever, or men's physique or classic physique, it's very hard to give up that winning feeling and being the champ and being the best in the world in your certain thing to go into the Open to maybe place 5th. But Derek Lunsford, if he did do the Open this year, I would say that he has the potential to win it. Honestly, I think that because there's no clear-cut Mr Olympia for 2022. There's about 6 to 7 guys I think that can win this show. You got obviously Hardy Chupin, who's very, very dangerous. You've got Brandon Curry, you've got Big Ramy, you've got Hunter Labrada, you've got Nick Walker, you've got William Bonac, who's coming in. You got Flex Lewis. These are all guys that I believe can actually win the Olympia in 2022, and I'm probably missing out a few names as well. So let me know what you think in the comments below about Derek Lunsford. Do you think it's a good decision or not that he's doing the 212 in 2022 and defending his 212 Olympia title? Let me know what you think in the comments below on that. Also, guys, head to hdmuscle.com, enter the code DESKTOP. You'll save yourself 10% on all their products. If there's a discount on there already, take an extra 10% off with the code DESKTOP. The link is in the description below if you want to make that saving on that. Also, if you like and appreciate the content, please give it a big thumbs up, smash that like button, also subscribe and hit the notification bell button. That way you'll be notified of every video that goes up from myself, Xavier Wills at Desktop Bodybuilding. So for Xavier Wills, Desktop Bodybuilding, we are out.